Right. Where'd you want me?
Well, there's only one chair in the room, so you can sit there if you want.
Whatever you say, Rodeo. Can we make this quick? I have a lot to do at the moment.
It says here you're unemployed, though.
An artist is constantly employed by the world.
Okay, we'll try and make this as quick as possible.
AQAP.
I beg your pardon?
AQAP? As quick as possible? I'd prefer if you could employ the use of acronyms, as I am a very busy man.
Despite being unemployed?
I'm self-employed.
By the world?
That's correct.
Right. I mean, I've never heard the use of that acronym before, but I'll bear it in mind.
Thank you.
So, on file, we have you as worker 323 423 223 124, otherwise known to others as Mowgli, or the sanitation worker formerly known as the artiste. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Can I ask, why Mowgli?
Because I'm brown, with dark hair, and I once wore orange swimming shorts and got lost in a jungle. That should be obvious by now, shithead.
Okay, just curious. Now, despite almost 4 pages of unrelated work experience, you've put down that you self-identify as an artiste. Would you be willing to explain that further?
An artist never explains themselves.
Right. See, I actually find that some of the best artists do explain themselves quite well, actually. You know, their themes, topics, referencing sources or life experiences.
Well, they're just a bunch of bloody show-offs.
If anything, I think that if they are, as you say, showing off, I think, all they're showing off is their passion, which I don't think is a bad thing.
I think that's a very privileged opinion to have, and it's very problematic.
In my experience, I find people usually only say that when their argument has backed them into a corner, and they want to save face.
You say potato, I say potato. Now let's move on, fuckwad.
You swear a lot, don't you? Do you think you're an angry person?
I think anybody would be fuming in this power struggle between the elite 1%ers like you and the rest of us down-to-earth folk.
I mean, I'm just middle management, but so you believe in the 1% controlling the rest of the 99%?
Well, I think it's a bit more complicated than that. See, as with any other business, one person to control 99 subordinates is a managerial nightmare. Staff will be turning up to work whenever they want, stealing company property, calling in sick for mental health reasons. You'd be done in by brunch. So with that logistical orgy, and not the fun type, what other option does a manager have?
They delegate?
They delegate. So the 1% then must delegate to the overseers and project managers, and on a healthy 5-to-1 worker to supervisor ratio, we're then transferring that power to a 10% increase with another 10% on the substitute bench, ready to take over should the previous 10% need leave for, let's say, terminal illnesses, networking parties, animal vaccination appointments. The standard.
I noticed you didn't mention maternity leave.
I believe maternity leave should be made illegal. I mean, what are you doing? I need leave so I can sit down all day. I can't walk because my feet are the size of watermelons. I mean, it's bloody typical. And when's a better time for a child to learn than when it's taken its artistic form in the fucking womb? I mean, if form is just an extension of content, would you be happy if that content was sat on its arse all day?
I genuinely have no idea how to respond to that.
You don't have to. In the words of Sir Ronan Keating, you say it best when you say nothing at all.
I don't think he's a sir.
Are we talking about the same person? Manager of West Zone, member of Boy Life?
I think you have those two mixed up. And plus, he's Irish.
What's that got to do with anything?
Don't worry. Let's get back to the 1%.
Whatever you say, Rodeo. So the 1% now, after the necessary hierarchical changes have been implemented, is now actually closer to a 21 to 25%, controlling the other 75%. Now, let's take into our calculations the percentage no one has control over: the Amazon, parts of the Sahara, most of Mongolia, and obviously international waters. Now let's place that at an approx 8%. Now we have 21 to 25% controlling around 67% of the population, with 8% written off for the next foreseeable century.
Right. I mean, I am a bit lost in all these numbers, but from what I've gathered, there still seems to be a minority controlling the masses.
When did I ever mention that minorities were the issue?
No, that's not why.
I don't care. I don't have time to include your racism into these calculations. So at the 25 to 65% mark, we can see this boils down to a 5 to 13 ratio, which just will not do in an efficient organization. So what do we do when we need to cut costs?
Layoffs?
It's layoff season, baby. And if you're not a motherfucking MVP, then you better bolo, lest you want to be found DOA with no IOUs and you will never be RB.
Right.
Post-layoff season, you're looking at a 5 to 7 ratio. That means 50% of the population being controlled by the 70% elite.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, the numbers have kind of blown away any sense of reasoning.
Thank you very much.
It wasn't a compliment. But are you trying to say that we are all elites trying to control each other?
We are all elites trying to control each other. Stick that in your crack pipe and suck it.
I don't smoke crack.
No? Well, you bloody should. Because clearly, you can't keep up.
Okay. I'd like to go back and unpackage this artist thing quickly.
I don't want to go back. We can't go back. What are you, the time traveler's wife?
No.
Well, you're acting like one. I am fully present, right here, right now, all the time. I refuse for your tomorrow to ruin my today.
Well, no, I wasn't trying to... That was a nice quote, by the way, just saying. But no, I wasn't trying to ruin your today with my tomorrow. I just would like your opinion on art. I mean, I know that's a big umbrella term, but I'd like to hear your perspective.
Well, sit down and open up that umbrella, baby, because it's about to get wet as heck.
Suck it up, will you swallow, will you
Feel anything yet? Drenched? Rinsed like a shitting flannel?
I'm not sure. How do you define a third eye?
I think we all should find our third eye, no matter how much it hurts.
As in the emotional battles we must confront in order to clear the dirty windscreen of our subjective experience of reality so that we as a society can relate, communicate, and cohabit better with each other?
What? No. No, I mean literally, we all have a third eye in our forehead. It's just in front of the temporal lobe, nestled behind the frontal lobe, and if you concentrate hard enough, with the additional aids of sound baths, incense sticks, throat singing, chakra cleansing, and all that jazz, we actually can bring our third eye to the forefront of our forehead. And then it's just a matter of taking knife to flesh and unleashing that bad boy. It's basic spiritual science, which is a real thing. No, you don't have to have a degree from a recognized university to be right.
Usually I'd agree with you on that, but
University is the last refuge of the incompetent, I always say.
how do you feel about AI art?
It's too good. You know, AI shouldn't be there to be better than me. It should be there to serve me and my ego. And when it's able to use a few prompts to create something that somebody with a fine art degree couldn't even imagine, let alone create in the next decade, that's when we need to pull the plug. I mean, what's next? AI shoes to do the walking for me? AI lips to do the talking for me? AI mud flaps to take the shit out of me?
Are you saying you're full of shit?
Completely. Aren't we all? And I'll take out the trash in my own sweet time, darling. Now get in the kitchen and AI me a burger. I'm tired.
So you're against AI?
Not at all. AI predictions and algorithms? How else am I supposed to make money? AI buddies? Sure, I'm sick of my peers. AI security dogs? Well, they say a man's a dog's best friend, so you figure it out. But stay away from the arts. Leave that to us, AI. Stop taking all the good art jobs and all the money I could be making. And you know how much better my life would be if you weren't ruining the art scene for me, AI.
Are you okay?
My degree has value. My art has value. I have value. I am an artist. I am an artist. I am an artist.
Are you crying?
No. It must be all the pollen in the air.
Well, it's November, and we're in space.
Can we finish the interview now?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we push this guy any further, he's gonna off himself. Yeah, sure, you can go.
Can I stay here? Do you mind if I just lie on the sofa for a bit?
Sure. We'll leave the room. Will I turn the light off for you?
Could you leave it on, please?
Sure.
Thank you. I am an artist. I am an artist. My degree has value. My degree has value. My art has value. I have value. I am an artist. I am an artist. I am an artist.